Hello friends, welcome hip cats and groovy chicks. Welcome to Sunset Beach, North Carolina. Sorry we don't have a sunset this evening, but anyway. I have a special video for you this evening in which I'm using my electronic keyboard, my RD-300. It's a Roland keyboard with the organ sound, similar to a Hammond, and the kind of fun you can have playing Hammond organ. And how it differs from an acoustic piano, how your approach to it and the things it can do that are different from a conventional acoustic piano, and how it works really well with the blues. So I'm going to use a blues backing track with Band in the Box, and so now here we go with blues in F using the Roland digital piano. Here we go. Okay, starting out, welcome to Sunset Beach, North Carolina. I have a different setup here than I do up in New England. So we don't have a piano here, so I use the electric piano, the RD. This is a Roland RD-300 keyboard. It has a built-in rhythm section, but I'm using Band in the Box because the sounds are real sounds of real instruments being played by real musicians. So that's the backing track that I'm using, Band in the Box. Now, to set up the organ patch, I set this up myself. I took that's pretty close to a Hammond organ. Of course, there's no Leslie, and I don't have the Leslie effect on here. I do have chorusing and reverb. But the thing I did is I made it a split. So I'm putting this part of the keyboard all the way up as one organ, and then a second organ on the lower keyboard that's tuned up an octave. So therefore I can play chords. See, otherwise I'd have to be playing like, you know, here, overlapping. You know, it's not two keyboards like in a real Hammond organ. You'd have two levels of keyboards. Now, so I detune the lower part so that I can play the voicings here. See, so now that's an F13 chord, or I can play an F9 there. You see, I'm playing blues in F. So I'm using the F blues scale. That's this one. Now I can use that scale over the complete blues pattern I'm using. I'm using F7 to a B flat 7. I'm putting a B diminished in there too as well. And you hear that in how I'm soloing. When I play the B diminished, I really try to play notes that are in that scale. Let's see. That's a B diminished scale. It goes down an octave there. Anyway, so the rest of it I can pretty much use the blues scale throughout, even when I'm doing the turnarounds. Like the turnaround is F13 to A flat 13 to G7 augmented to C7 sharp 9. That's one voicing. You could do this. Well, that's pretty much what I used, I think. You might have gone to C13 there, then back to F. See? It's all blues scale. So the only change is that B diminished right here. Now, descending line F7, E7, sharp 9, E flat 7, sharp 9, D7, sharp 9. Now, sometimes I would play those more precisely, like it's more interesting to really play on those scales when it's descending like that. The rest of it I'm doing pretty much F blues scale. I'm going to talk about some of the things, special licks, and also the features of an organ sound that is different from a regular electric keyboard sound or acoustic piano. Yeah, I listened back and realized this is probably a little too loud, the keyboard, relative to my voice, so maybe I just need to turn the mic up. But anyway, yeah, now it's really fun to play Hammond organ style because of a number of things. One, the sustaining. I mean, the fact that, well, that can be a problem if you're a pianist. You can't sustain with a pedal. Like once you hit the note and come off it, it's gone. But you get certain. So that wouldn't sound the same on an acoustic piano. Those kind of things really work well. And plus, the other thing about the sustaining is that you can hold one note while playing other notes like this. Or on the top like this. I did mostly holding the note up on the top. It could have been generally the fifth of the scale, the fifth of the scale, or the root of it, like so the fifth would be. See now, like if I want to balance that better, I could bring more left hand in over here. This is my left hand channel and my right hand channel. See, so I can, if I wanted more of that. See now, the other thing is I can sustain with the left hand. You can't do that on a keyboard. You hit a chord, it's going to decay, you know, immediately start to decay and get softer. And with this you can sustain, the volume stays the same as you hold it. That's a nice thing, nice feature of the organ sound. Let's try that, a little softer. So you get more variety in your playing, you know, because you can do that. You can't do that on a regular conventional keyboard. That's sustaining. So you can create more drama, you know, like play short to begin with. Then you want to get to a dramatic part of the song, improvisation-wise, you can sustain. You see, it creates a whole different effect. So now just talking a little bit about the licks. I mean, when you're playing blues licks on a blues scale, there's such a variety of things you can do that, you know, I've talked about this with improvisation a lot, you know, how to shape a line, but based on target tones, approach tones, and passing tones and that kind of thing. So all that is working here, and it's the same principle whether you're playing it on a conventional acoustic keyboard or electric keyboard. See, like, you want to just be sure that you're hitting those target tones on the strong beats. So like, an idea of that. Now the other thing is when I'm sustaining a note, I talked about that. That's unique to the organ. They used to put a matchbox in there, you know, like to hold the note down, and then they could play like this. You know, a conventional player Hammond organ player is playing like this. Melody up here, chords on the second level, down the lower level, and you can change the tone of those too if you want to make them darker sounding. These are brighter sounding maybe. And then playing the pedal for the bass line. You know, really, you know, like if it's Jimmy Smith or any of the great groove homes, they're all playing that that bass line on their feet. And you know, some of the players used to play bass lines in their left hand. I'll show you that too. But that's the important thing to see in the organ, is that you have a sustain. There's no way around that. You cannot not sustain. It's going to sustain as long as you hold the note down. You're going to get a sustain. So that you can take advantage of that effect by doing things like this. So I have a bent finger, so it's harder for me to do that than a person without a bent finger. But anyway, I can do these things. I don't start out doing that. I try to build up to that. I do something simple to start, then gradually begin to build. I think I did that on this solo. I gradually started to build the ideas. I gradually started to use more sustain in the left hand. Started to do some sustaining things on the fifth, and eventually end up on the, you know, like you build the solo up, create the drama. Yeah, so these things that make the organ unique can be really fun. You know, I mean, the fact you have the sustaining factor makes the sound completely change. It's more legato as long as you're holding it down. You can do staccato like, but this way you can play sustain more than you can on acoustic piano. You see, so the notes are all elongated as long as you're holding them down. As soon as you let go, the sound releases. But you know, if you play legato, it's going to be more legato, I think, because you know, a piano starts delay starts to decrease its sound pretty quickly. This doesn't at all. It keeps the sound at the same level as long as you're holding it, you know. So it's a completely different feel from an acoustic piano. And so what you do, you try to adapt to that different feel by playing differently on it, you know. And so it's great for blues. Just, I mean, you know, acoustic piano is great for blues too, but this has certain things that you can do that are different from a conventional piano. So you want to get into that, get a feel for it. You know, there's no other way than getting into it. In other words, get that sound and work with it, practice it, and get your own concept of it. And then you'll begin to become more expressive in that style and in that way of playing. One other quick point I'd like to make is that this is a digital piano. In other words, it has weighted keys. It's not like a real organ. So if you learn on this, and then you switch over to organ, it's going to be a much lighter touch. Also, the reverse of that, if you learn on an organ and go to weighted keys, it's going to be a heavier touch. So that may affect your speed or your technique. Okay, the other thing you can do that's kind of fun here is you can I program the lower level to be a bass. Like that, you know, you can't see the lower part, I'm sorry, but I don't want to change the look on here because then it won't match with the others that I have. But anyway, just, you know, this is bass line now, and so melody and bass line. Yeah, there you go. See, now there you can play, sorry bass players, but that you can play with just the drummer and have a full sound. You know, you can play chords, or you can back up a horn player. Like that kind of thing, back up a singer and so on. You can play organ and drums, maybe add a guitar. That's what a lot of organ trios did, because they were playing the foot pedals. Now I'll show you what that sounds like. I changed how I programmed it. In other words, this is going to be your organ sound here, and you're going to have organ sound down here. Transposed, but see, it's still an organ sound. It also has a Leslie on it, so it's going to sound, let's just play some bass line stuff like this. Let's go on. See, now if I want to change the levels, bring out the bass more, have this be softer, I'd just change it here. See, that lower level in there has the Leslie sound. I should be doing an ad for Roland here and be getting a fee to show off this keyboard. I know there's hundreds of sounds in here, so it's endless. I mean, if you're doing poetry gigs, this would be a good thing. I'm going to show you what the rhythm section sounds like. So it's up here. It's already preset for swing 3. And there's the sound. So so here in the editing phase of it, I can edit this organ patch that I have. There's a rotary. There's rotary 1, rotary 2, percussion organ there. There's 2 different varieties. That's a little mellower. See, so I can use any combination of these that I want to do. See. That's real Leslie there. So you have a lot of possibilities here. Now that I've done my ad for Roland, we'll see if they send me the check. Okay, we'll wrap up. Signing off from Sunset Beach, and if you watched my previous video, I put a beautiful sunset on there, but tonight it's cloudy, so wherever you are, we hope it's sunny. And until next time, I'll say in the words of my great friend, Hermie Dressel, he's up there looking down on us with pity, but he's a great guy, and he always said to me when I left the room, he said, swing loose! And we'll see you next time around. Bye-bye.